I'm striving to prepare my body for motherhood. And there's so many women in my world who are struggling with their fertility and are struggling with their like physical embodiment, like their health. And I know that it's because we're so intrinsically, from a Buddhist perspective, we understand that, well, all religions understand the interdependence of life. But there's certainly a lot of suffering in the world that, you know, is felt in a very different way for women.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah. There's been an organized control to take away women's power, but it's not coming back in the women's rights movements.
it's not.
The power.
It,
The power is actually taken away, first of all, in the belief systems, but second of all, it's like we get women to take their primary sensory tools. These are 10 organs, 10 emotions. We paint them. So it takes away, and then we color the hair.
well,
And then
mine's natural.
we use
But yeah.
suppositories and women's tampons that are basically the same chemicals as a cigarette, with bleach in it. And we're dumbing down, especially young women today, beforehand, so that they never ever actually get to experience what coming into their power is. And they have this vision of it that's painted by society.
Well, I'm really glad that you gave those as examples, because of the many things that I do, I've been working a lot with my fertility and my womb health, and I want to establish the Institute for Womb Health here in Scotland at some point, because things like this person just birth control, and tampons, but also I might trigger some people who are watching this, but one of the other causes of control manipulation are women who are giving birth in the medicalized system, and who are being raped and abused and having their babies having their babies pulled out of their cervixes. And something I've learned very recently is that the womb, you know, it is the birthplace of all things, and that is actually the matrix, but also that the placenta is the first mother. It's the first organ, like not an organ, but it is like an organ in the sense that it's functioning as a life-giving mechanism.
It's an organ. It's an organ until the baby has its own. But you know what? You know what's crazy is that have you ever heard of lotus birthing?
Yeah.
See, 20% of the blood stays in the placenta and it comes back into the body in the third day, but we cut it off. So we save the placenta to save their life later on. Why don't we just give them those immuno responses right away? I always say this because I was like, who's the first person that decided when that baby came out and there's the cord and the placenta? Who's the first person that decided it'd be a good idea to cut that off?
Well,
and then
somebody way back when who found out that the way that we can traumatize women in the most vulnerable and should be most empowering chapter of their life is by cutting the cord, because the placenta can save the baby's life. If a baby can actually not breathe or make a sound for 10 minutes plus, but if it's attached to the cord attached to the placenta, the baby is communicating to the placenta, and the placenta is communicating to the baby, and it's saying, hey, I've got you. I'm pumping all that life force into you. There's no need to worry. You're all right. But then the hysteria around the medicalized system is baby's not waking, and the child is slapped, it's shaken. It's
fear,
from the very moment.
Anxiety, and that lodges in the trauma. That trauma lodges in the tissue of the baby in our computer. And then our whole society is like that. Like I said, who's the first person that said this is a good idea? Let's cut that off. I mean, I don't think I would do it. I would say, wow, that's weird. It comes off in the third day naturally, by the way. Third day. So
it can, but the other part of it is that women are told that if they if they're having a home birth, there could be complications with the placenta. And what women don't know is that, you know, the placenta is moving away from the wall of the womb as the baby has entered the first and second portal. So first portal, the cervix, second portal, the vagina, into the new world. And the mother needs to very gently guide the umbilical cord with a bit of tissue, because it's very soft and slimy, slippery, and just guide it out. It shouldn't be staying there for any length of time.
No, I meant
so that
on the baby itself.
Yeah, no, but that's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
women don't, like, the other traumatizing story is that women are being told, you know, you could hemorrhage, the placenta could get stuck, and we need to guide our finger around the placenta, guide it out, and then you're fine. Like, the women who are doing this are saying that their birth was the most empowering when they gave birth to the placenta, because the baby came out. The baby came out. But the horror stories are often most about, well, the placenta's still up there. How's that going to come down? And I mean, I know that I had quite a peaceful birth, but my mum was bedridden for most of her pregnancy, and she blamed me for that. And what I learned later on in my journey of healing was that my baby, my inner child, knew that the only way it was going to be able to survive was to basically make my mum sick, because my mum was non-stop.
Well,
my mum needed to.
And we now have the answer for that. I mean, we have women that are doing the fascial maneuvers all through. The bedridden portion is because our bodies aren't the way they're supposed to be. So we have women doing fascial maneuvers from conception all the way into the delivery room. As a matter of fact, totally twisted like this in the delivery room with the head turned. If you push down on your cervix, you feel it. Let it go, push down, and the pressure comes up here. So it's one of the best birthing tools that we found.
Wow.
And we have thousands of women that done it. We're going to do some videos on it. We haven't done it yet.
Please do, because I know that for us to reprogram and heal the deeply intrinsic pain that is being passed down from generation to generation, we need to be collectively working together. So obviously you're doing your thing, but you know, there's women like the Free Birth Society that you can follow, and you know, and also people like myself who are just making an effort to speak to women, and guiding them towards that wisdom. But like, if we can work more collectively together, and
we are. You know what? These conversations.
And we are like this conversation. I was so not expecting you to say, "Hey, come on."
We couldn't have this conversation 10 years ago on a media platform. So, and I had a woman in June, I think. I had a woman in June that was in labor. She'd been doing fashion maneuvers all the way through. She's in labor. She comes on the live, and we're talking her through the labor on the live, and it was so incredible.